If you want to learn how to revise anything, then you gotta stay tuned. Hello everyone and welcome to another rousing episode of Spill the Tea Tuesday. My name is Flossie and I'm like the funniest, wittiest mindset coach as well as your OG Hype You Up Rampage Queen here on YouTube. If you want one-on-one coaching with me, links will be in the description box below. And don't forget that we have our ongoing challenge that's going on now through the end of the year and the VIP group of Manifestation Station, where there are 9 seasons on how to do a complete total glow up of your life. Right now we're doing Becoming the GOAT, as in the greatest of all time version of you. So without further ado, let's get to the calendar. You know, this just says it's fucking fall, yo. Doesn't matter the season. You can still be affirming and persistent for whatever you want. So season doesn't matter, but welcome to fall. This says rise and fucking grind. I say rise and fucking affirm for what you want, so that you can do what? Get your shiznit and be part of the GYS crew. Check your bullshit at the door. Check the 3D at the door, because we don't give a shiznit about the 3D, do we? Nope. And this says, only assholes don't shoot for the fucking moon. No, only people that don't know that don't know that they are the master of manifesting, that they're the operant power of their reality, don't shoot for the moon. Everyone else, shoot for the moon. Facts. It says kick ass and fuck this day up. How about you kick ass and fuck the 3D up? As in, get your shit. And this says, fortune favors the badass. Fortune favors the boss-ass, badass manifestation bitch or dude who's affirming and persistent and getting their shiznit. So, you know I love my calendar. But anyway, so in this video, I'm going to teach you how to revise anything you want that has happened in your 3D reality. In case you haven't seen any of my videos on revision, I'm going to link one here where I explained what revision is and how to revise a breakup, because there is some good, useful information there. And I might say things a different way that could be helpful to you. But essentially, revising is changing what has happened in your 3D reality, using manifestation to change the past, to change something that has happened in your 3D reality. And anything can be revised, really, as long as you believe it's possible. And what I would say is, if you have the desire, that means creation is already finished. What you want already exists. You can't want anything that can't exist. And I don't really hear other coaches explaining how revision works, but I'm going to break it down for you. So if you understand manifestation, what is manifestation? It is your 3D reality conforming to your dominant thought or assumption on a topic. And what is a memory? A memory is literally just a thought of the past that you're telling yourself over and over and over again. So you're only keeping it alive by telling yourself the same thought. So if you change what you think about the past or what you think about an event, your 3D reality has to conform to that. And we have seen success stories in the Mermaid Gang and in the manifestation community where people have revised things that are outrageous or would seem impossible to some, like their age, the age of their pets. People have literally revised someone passing away. And I know people would be like, how the fuck is that possible? Well, anything is possible as long as you believe that it's possible. You don't have to believe it to be true, just believe that it could be possible. And you can literally revise anything that you want. I have had clients who have successfully revised things that have happened in their 3D reality. And one of the common things I've been told is people forget that were involved in the event. They forget about it. Their memory becomes fuzzy about it. Sometimes even the manifestor's memory becomes fuzzy about that event. I've had clients have text messages disappear, emails disappear. You know, things are going to unfold in a way that seems natural to you. If you revise like a breakup, for example, and you broke up with that person a long time ago, you probably won't wake up sleeping in bed next to that person unless you think that's possible. And I just say that because to a lot of people, that wouldn't seem natural to them. They wouldn't go to bed one night and then wake up with someone in their bed that they don't remember being there. But, you know, you can revise literally anything you want. How it unfolds could be, you know, whatever your assumptions are about how things can unfold in your reality are ways that it's going to show up. But you literally can revise anything that you want, because remember, a memory is just a thought that you're keeping alive because you're telling yourself it over and over again. You change that thought, the 3D has to conform. So You can do revision some different ways. You can use a visualization scene. You can use affirmations. What is huge with revision is your mental diet. You need to make sure that your thoughts are in line with what your revision is, what you're going to tell yourself. So the way that you can handle the mental diet aspect, because I'm going to teach you how to revise, but the mental diet aspect is very important, is whatever you decide to do. So like, for example, if someone is revising a breakup and they are noticing in the 3D reality that they're in no contact with SP, but in their mind they're together because they're revising the breakup, you would have to assign a meaning to why you're having those thoughts, because you're not going to acknowledge the 3D reality. I mean, obviously you're living in the 3D. You're not going to be delusional, go doing bizarre things just because you're doing revision. But at the same time, you're going to have things that you're going to tell yourself in order to make the revision show up sooner. So you can tell yourself like, no, I talk to SP all the time. Like, I don't know why I'm having that weird thought, or that was just a weird dream that I had. You know, that was a nightmare. That was something I saw on TV. It like never really happened to me, or it didn't happen to me, or it's not happening to me. And so you can create a story that you're going to tell yourself along with the revision, so that the 3D reality or the thoughts that you're having about the 3D reality don't bother you. You're just going to have something that you would tell it. You know, that didn't happen. That's a nightmare. That was a weird thought that I had. That was a dream. You know, that I saw that on TV, etc. So if you choose to use a scene to do your revision, well, scene or affirmations, you would loop whatever it is for several minutes, you know, ideally 10 minutes 3 times a day, but at least 3 to 5 minutes 3 times a day. The more often that you loop it, the sooner it's going to saturate your mind, the sooner your 3D reality can conform. But if you do a scene, you want to have the scene be brief. I'm talking like 10, 15, 20 seconds max. If you're revising like a breakup, it's like you would want to do whatever is easiest for you. So if you had an argument and that led to the breakup, you can revise to where you never had the argument and you just see yourself where you were with SP and you see yourself having a great time. And it's like at the end of the night, and maybe SP says I had an amazing time, or whatever that it was, you know, or that you're wanting it to be rather. And then you would, you know, you hear SP like say, I love you, and you say, I love you back. And you go on and you just, you know, you would loop that scene. You would loop it to, it would imply to you that that day was normal, amazing, wonderful, whatever. If you are someone who's like, I can't get my mind to do a bind that there was no argument, then have it to be to where what a lot of people do. A lot of people have a disagreement. And then at the end of it, they're like, you know what, this is ridiculous. I know I want to spend the rest of my life with you. I love you. We'll fix this. Or, you know, I want to keep moving forward, or whatever that it is, however that your SP would put it. So if you have an argument and you're like, you're going to acknowledge that you had an argument, but in the end that you made up, everything was Gucci, you're moving forward, you would create a small scene and you would repeat that same scene. If it was an event, such as a car accident, you could see yourself getting to the destination safely. You could see yourself at whatever event that you were supposed to, but getting in the car accident maybe got in the way of. If you applied for a job and you were given a rejection, you could see whatever you were given as, like, if you got a rejection email or rejection letter, you could change it into an offer. Or if you got a phone call, you could change that call into them offering you the job. If you don't want to, you know, use a scene, if you're not a visualizing type person, you don't want to create a scene, then you can use affirmations. So like revision affirmations for a breakup are things like, SP and I have always been together. Our relationship has always been perfect. Our relationship is rock solid. We've always been in love with each other. If it is for like a car accident, for example, it would be like, I got to my destination safely. Such and such day was such an amazing day. I had such an awesome time at the party. If that was your only car accident, I've never been in a car accident. If it's a health issue, I've never been sick. I've never had this health concern. I've always had perfect health. My health has always been amazing. My lab work has always been, you know, within defined limits, or my doctor's always told me that my labs are perfect. Whatever that it is, like you would use an affirmation that would imply to you that you've never had that issue or you didn't have that issue. If it is something like, you know, the job rejection, oh, I totally got the job, or they offered me the best compensation package ever. I've had clients who did not get a job offer, or were waiting to get a job offer, and they were still in their old job in the 3D reality, and they're like, how am I supposed to handle this? I'm going to work to a job that isn't in line with what I'm manifesting. Well, you tell yourself, I'm just wrapping this job up, because a lot of people put in 2 weeks to a month notice depending on what their career is. And so you can just very easily tell yourself, if you're having to go to work for, a different job, like your old job, while you're revising that you got this new job, you just tell yourself, oh, I'm just completing out the rest of my contract, or, I'm just working out my notice, or I'm helping to train the person who's replacing me. So there's things that you can tell yourself in the 3D reality. Just make a story that works for you while you're doing your revision. So you can literally revise anything. And I'm hoping that I'm giving enough examples to where you can think of your specific situation and what you would affirm to imply to you that what you wanted actually happened. So whether it's a scene that is very short that implied what you wanted to have happened, or that the event didn't happen, you create the scene and you're looping that same scene, the same exact scene over and over and over again. And then when you think of the 3D reality, nope, that's never happened to me. Nope, I've never been in an accident. Nope, I've never, not gotten a job offer, or I was given the job offer right away, or they couldn't, they're so happy that they hired me. Nope, I'm working out, my last few weeks at my old job. Whatever that it is, you're going to stick to the story that you're making for yourself while you're either visualizing and persisting, or affirming and persisting for a new reality. If you're, revising something like age, no, I'm this year's old. No, I was born in this year. Do you see what I'm saying? I just celebrated my XYZ number birthday. So if you're, 25 and you're revising that you're 21, I just turned 21. I just celebrated my 21st birthday. I was born in XYZ year. If you're revising the age of your pets, my pet was born in this year. My pet is this number years old. My pet just celebrated XYZ birthday. Anything can be revised. Anything. And you can use the present perfect tense of have always been, use an absolute like always, have been, have treated, have loved, the present perfect tense, and an absolute like either always, never, or only. Now, you can also revise on the spot. Someone tells you no, they've said yes. Whatever that it is that you would have wanted to have heard or have had happen in that moment, you can revise on the spot to XYZ happened. Even if in the 3D reality, someone's rejecting you, whether it's SP rejecting you or appearing obviously to reject you, because no one can reject you. They're just playing the role that you gave them. But if they're appearing to reject you, you can revise on the spot even while they're talking to you. SP's saying something negative. Oh, they're telling me how much they love me. They're talking to me so kindly, so sweetly. They're saying everything I want them to say. If someone's saying, oh, we don't think that you're the appropriate candidate for this job. Oh, they're offering me the best compensation package. They're telling me that they totally cannot wait for me to start. They think that I would be the best employee ever. I was the only, once they had my interview, I was the only candidate they'd even considered, because once they heard me speak, I was it. The competition was over. I was already a dead ringer for it. You can revise on the spot no matter what is happening in the 3D. In your mind, it's going the way you want. They're offering you the job. Someone's giving you money. Someone's saying yes. Someone's telling you how amazing you are. Someone's treating you like a diamond. You can, in your mind, be like, oh, they're doing this XYZ. This is how things are going. That is what you would tell yourself in your mind if you're doing revising on the spot. I've done revision on the spot and had someone being unpleasant in my 3D reality. And I revised on the spot, and guess what? It's like that whole situation, the whole negativity stops, and I start getting what I want. You can do the same thing. So you don't have to accept what the 3D reality is giving you if it's something not in line with you want to experience. If it is not in line with your manifestation, you don't have to be like, nope, this is the way that it is. This is what I'm going to accept. This is how things are. You can be like, no, I don't care if someone tells me no. In my mind, they're saying yes. They're doing XYZ. Why? Because I fucking said so. You're the operating power of your reality. Take charge of your own reality. If you want to revise something because that seems like an easier way to you in order to get your manifestation, then do that. Or if you had something unpleasant happen and you wish that you never had that experience, then you can do revision, because even your memory can get fuzzy on what actually happened. Or, you might get to a point where something happened and that it wasn't something that you preferred potentially, but you may not fully remember what. I say to do the revision until your first thought, at a minimum, until your first thought about the event or about whatever it is you're revising becomes the revision. So if someone were to ask you like, oh, about like a certain day, your first thought would be whatever you're revising it to. Or if you think about it, your first thought starts to become whatever you're revising to, because that's really when your mind starts to have like the full complete buy-in of this is the way that it is, because it's your first thought about it. Does it have to be your only thought about it? No. There's plenty of people that I've known who've done revision who have still remembered to a certain extent what had happened, or some even remembered it 100%. They just were like, holy shenanigans, holy shitballs, Batman. Like, I've literally changed my 3D reality. Like, I was told this about, either this person or this event happened or what have you. And then they shifted to realities to where it's like, no, that's not the way that it was. I've seen one success story where someone revised someone passing away, and then, they were under the impression that person died. Like, that's from what I would understand they were told. And then that person, next thing they know, is like alive and improving. They were like in the hospital and they're alive and improving. And I've had other people say that they were told someone passed away and they revised it, and then nobody knew anything about that because the person was still alive. Like, when they talked to their relative and they asked, we're talking about the other relative, the one who had passed away in the previous reality, that person was still alive and was totally fine. And you know what I'm saying? So when you revise, you can literally change the past because your 3D is based on your dominant thoughts and assumptions. That's what you experience. The other people in your 3D reality probably aren't going to remember. So just as a little caveat, if you revise a breakup with your SP or a fight that you've had with your friend or family member or whatever, it's kind of hard to expect an apology when you're doing revision, and they're probably not going to remember. Because when the people that I've known who have revised arguments have literally told me that the people didn't understand why, like, maybe they weren't speaking as much as normal. They didn't remember having either an argument, or they thought that the argument was just like a little minor squabble and not as big of an argument as it was. And so I don't sit here and say demand an apology anyway, because I think if you're owed one, 99% of the time you're going to get it anyway in the unfolding of your manifestation, because otherwise it wouldn't seem natural or make sense to you. But having said that, I do say in the videos where I talk about the apology, the exception can be revision, because if you revise shit and the people in your 3D reality don't remember, or they don't remember hurting your feelings or being an asshat, you're probably not going to get that apology because you've revised it. You might be the only person who remembers the extent of some things that happened in your 3D, because why you revised it, no one is going to remember, because to them it wouldn't have happened, or it wouldn't have happened that way. I realized after I finished making this video that I did not mention that I was not going to talk about revising patterns, because even though it is revision, it is a lengthy topic in itself, and I did not want this video to be forever long. So if you're wanting to know more about revising relationship pattern, money pattern, or any other pattern, I'm going to link the video here to where you can learn a little bit more about it. This video was predominantly to discuss revision, as far as revising like an event or something that had happened in the 3D reality, whether it was on the spot, you wanted to revise a breakup, you wanted to revise like a rejection from getting a job or something like that. Something that is more like an event versus something like a pattern that would extend a period of time through multiple situations. So there's that. Now, back to the video, yo. So, I hope that this video is making sense to you. You can literally revise anything that you want, because your entire 3D reality is based on your thoughts and assumptions. You just have to become the version of you that didn't have that event, and you become that version by affirming and persisting for what you would have wanted to have happened. You change your dominant thought on the past, the 3D reality has to conform. So that's just the way that it is. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, you drop them below, because you know I love to check them out. And as usual, I'll talk to you later. Bye.